Watch your tongue, dwarf. Whatever I am, I've survived things that make the deep roads look like a pleasant stroll.
First day they come and catch everyone. Second day, they beat us and eat some for meat. Third day, the men are all gnawed on again. Fourth day, we wait and fear for our fate. Fifth day they return and it's another girl's turn. Sixth day, her screams we hear in our dreams. Seventh day, she grew as in her mouth they spew. Eighth day, we hate it as she is violated. Ninth day, she grins and devours her kin. Now she does feast as she's become the beast.
Whoa, that hurt me a little.
We kick things off on the city of Nevara, which would put a smile on my face because the games never went there. However, the trash is already flowing. Three stooges are trying to climb the side of a colossal tower that has a main entrance located on its upper half, accessible by a bridge that connects to the city. They somehow manage to throw 2 grappling hooks from the bottom of the tower to where the entrance is. Watching the whole thing are 2 of their compatriots, Dark Elf, our main protagonist, and Gato, her very loyal friend.
Amateurs.
Considering the severity of the danger of the mission, maybe they shouldn't be there.
I hate to question your decisions, Miriam, but
Do I look like the kind of fool dumb enough to storm a mage tower?
Yes, because you can. In a fantasy game adaptation, the smart move is to tone down the abilities people can have, since they can get out of hand. As we'll see, they couldn't be bothered to think about that. The mission is still a case of lyrium, a crystal used in many magical shenanigans, and I only know that because the exposition must be given no matter the cost, and lamp shading is a viable way to pretend your plot's not dumb.
Randolph's idea.
you mean he wants those idiots and the 2 of us to fight our way through that entire building, steal a case of lyrium, and fight our way back out again?
You already know that, but now we know, and that's what's important. Dark Elf has a better plan. She bribed the washerwoman to get herself some mage robes, and now all she needs is a distraction, so she shoots 2 arrows at the same time from an unbelievable distance and manages to hit both of the grappling hooks, killing the Stooges. An outcome that won't change even if you diminish the height between scenes. And the plan works, because the noise of shuffling lifts is loud enough to call the attention of both guards at the door, who decide to investigate, leaving the entrance open.
Dolph will be livid.
Yeah, probably.
Except, there is no way down from where the guards are, and from that height whoever fell should be dead. They'll be back in a heartbeat. Even if they don't consider the invaders dead, they won't proceed with the investigation, because they are not city guards, they are Templars, whose task in the Dragon Age universe is to strictly watch over mages.
The ever-vigilant Templars of the Chantry watch over all mages, constantly alert for any sign of corruption.
Mages who are known by name and face since childhood.
This gilded cage is the only world you know. Found to be sensitive to magic at a young age, you were torn from your family and grafted here as an apprentice.
The disguises are not going to work. The plan with the amateurs was way better, and it didn't make sense. What a great start. Back in the hideout, their boss is livid.
Stupid blasted knife here! Couldn't stick to the plan, could you, Elf? Always so sure you know better.
I got delirium, Dolph.
Yeah, and got 3 recruits jailed, including my nephew.
First of all, they are not surviving that fall. Second, you sent recruits, one of which is your nephew, on a high-profile job, and you still expected things to turn out fine. Really.
If they couldn't get past 2 guards, they never could have taken a mage tower.
Not everyone gets to be empowered by plot. Bitch. The boss, understandably, can't stand her anymore. Especially because she makes him look incompetent by comparison.
Half my men seem to think you are the one in charge here.
But before the confrontation escalates, Matt Mercer, the French, appears.
I hope we are not interrupting anything.
Alongside Dark Elf's ex-girlfriend.
Saphira?
It was not a nice breakup.
No, you don't just get to... No, I know, not after you just left.
Turns out, Matt was the one that hired the crew for the tower job, as a test of Dark Elf's and Gadol's abilities.
And you are, both of you. Which is why I'd like to offer you both a job.
And it's very nice to know he had a change of personality after the days of the Inquisition.
I hope I don't disappoint.
Not at all.
But as they say, actions speak louder. As my missive stated, we can help each other. You have encountered the Freemen. Aggressive bastards, no?
Matt only wants the two of them though, and the gang boss doesn't like it. So instead of approaching the two of them once the heist was complete, avoiding all of this, Matt decides to announce the fact that he snitched on them to, I assume, force Dark Elf into protecting her ex and going against the gang.
You did what?
Luckily for everyone, the Dark Elf has the power of plot and video game on her side. She beats them all, especially because they are 1v1 her. She doesn't kill anybody though, managing to convince big guy Matt Mercer,
This isn't about you, Miriam. Stand aside.
after blocking an attack from him, who was using a big club, with only her daggers, into giving up for the sake of his children, and then he convinces everyone else into leaving.
Daggers, move out.
But the boss ain't having it. While Dark Elf is walking away, he grabs a crossbow and loses it, aiming directly at her head, who manages to turn around and deflect it back at him with enough force to cut his ear. Her hands were down and the bolt was milliseconds from hitting her head. If any of this happened as it should, she would be dead.
Next time, aim a little more to the right.
What?
Aim a little more to the right.
He was going to hit the center of your head. A little more to any side would miss.
A little more to the right.
Are you telling him to miss? What was that even supposed to mean?
Seems like a good time for a new venture.
Do they actually think that was a good one-liner?
Miriam, wait.
Ew. They make it to the outskirts of the city, and ex-girlfriend proceeds to vomit everything that Dark Elf obviously knows about their breakup,
Not enough to stop you from leaving me to join the Inquisition.
because implying things is just too subtle. Turns out, ex-girlfriend joined the Inquisition, a coalition formed to stop an evil monster from joining the spiritual realm with the physical one, which she also proceeds to vomit, especially because you can't expect everyone to play Dragon Age Inquisition.
Somebody had to stop it from destroying the world.
I don't remember her in my playthrough, but now I regret not finding her.
But you didn't. The Herald of Andraste sealed the breach. They killed Corypheus.
The Herald of Andraste would not be able to accomplish anything if it wasn't for the Inquisition, and the Inquisition would not be able to accomplish anything if it wasn't for money. I get that the goal in this scene is to establish their views and beliefs, but even if you remove the helping people part, her cynical ass can settle for money. She could have gone with her ex, who would be all bubbly about helping people, and she would be rich. Even more so if she used her incredible abilities to steal from the Inquisition. You broke up for nothing. Ex-girlfriend asked Dark Elf to come at the time, but Dark Elf doesn't believe people like them can do any good.
People like us don't change the world, Kira,
What did they mean by that?
Because people like you never try.
This confrontation could have cooked for a few episodes. It's been minutes. There's so much that could have been done without feeling bloated, and yet we are plowing through it all.
And after this, we can go to the hinterlands and make cheese for all I care, so long as we're together.
And it's not gonna get any better. We teleport to the woods, where the other two crew members are. Dingadong, a very bubbly Kunari mage,
My passion is more elemental magic, like explosions.
and Lackluster, a cynical and distrustful dwarven mercenary.
Lord of Fortune, and a talented, whatever the opposite of healer is.
3 experienced fighters, 2 mages, and yourself? This job must be dangerous.
Don't worry, the plot will keep you safe. Matt lays down the mission. He was tasked by Cassandra Penthagast, one of your companions in the Inquisition game, to steal the Forever Circle, a magical artifact powered by blood magic, which is bad, that is being kept by the Church of the Empire of Tevinter, and he's supposed to deliver the circle to Orlais, hopefully not the Empire of Orlais, but to what is left of the Inquisition there, which is funny because Cassandra should either already be in Tevinter, or be the Pope of the more common church.
I may be the divine, but I will always be your friend. And I can hardly ignore the fate of the Inquisition that I began.
Depending on the choices you make in the game.
That ain't no woman. It's a man.
But then again, Matt being here renders your choices from his mission in the game pointless, so same old, same old. But anyway, not only do they know where the circle is exactly, they know who's studying it. And finally they manage to be subtle because Dark Elf knows the mage and the place.
That's why you needed me.
You see, Tevinter practices elven slavery, and the mage studying the circle was her master. This is why ex-girlfriend came looking for her, as she knows the place well, which understandably upsets Dark Elf.
I told you I never go back there, and yet here you come, spinning a fairy tale about our happy cheese-making future.
Again, this confrontation could have happened on the way to Tevinter, on episode 3, but here we are already.
Cheese-making future.
Ex-girlfriend tries to explain herself, saying Dark Elf has been running from her past for too long, implying, especially with her plot abilities, she might have been more than just a slave. Dark Elf is not convinced,
I won't set foot in that place.
but ex-girlfriend says she wouldn't ask her to do any more than just showing the way, so that she might help Dark Elf get some revenge. And after that, they can live happily ever after together.
And we can live happily ever after.
Together? Happy cheese-making future.
We teleport around the land through the power of a montage, and Matt gives all the lore bits you wouldn't be aware of if you didn't play the games.
Nari are hated. Nari are hated. Nari are hated. Most elves live in outright slavery.
With the montage done, all of our protagonists have become good friends. Even Lackluster, the distrustful one, is having fun.
I shit you not.
Not that much fun because Dark Elf won't slow down.
Tell the world's tallest elf to slow down.
Dingadong assumes she simply doesn't want to spend time in the country that enslaved her, which is reasonable, but Gato and Lackluster act like this is a problem.
Don't be dense. Fairbanks would never be stupid enough to hire a runaway, right?
Dingadong correctly assumed that Dark Elf was a runaway slave, which is a bad thing, because she could still be wanted and her emotional attachment could jeopardize the mission.
What if little Miss Wayfinder's still being hunted? What if she loses her nerve as soon as she sees home?
Am I missing something? She's an elf from Tevinter.
She's an elf from Tevinter.
You saw her have a very emotional reaction to the idea of going back there.
You know this guy?
And the palace is in the city of Nessum. That's why you needed me.
Will you help us?
No.
What did you expect her to be? And you only realize that now? You haven't complained about taking a Kunari to Tevinter. She's as much of a liability as Dark Elf.
I've left it at that. I suggest you do the same. No.
The hell is this conversation? Dark Elf somehow heard the whole thing,
Watch your tongue, dwarf.
in spite of being far away.
Blasted elven hearing.
So she turns around and claps back at the dwarf.
Watch your tongue, dwarf.
The show thinks this was an epic moment. It's very sad.
Whatever I am, I've survived things that make the deep roads look like a pleasant stroll.
Third day, the men are all gnawed on again. Fifth day they return, and it's another girl's turn. Sixth day, her screams we hear in our dreams. Seventh day, she grew as in her mouth they spew. Eighth day, we hate it as she is violated. Ninth day, she grins and devours her kin. Now she does feast as she's become the beast.
And I assure you, you'll lose your nerve long before I will. Saphira? No, you don't just get to... No, I know, not after you, jeez. Please, not here. So lengthen your stride and shut the fuck up.
This entire scene is just a Navy SEAL copy pasta.
Whoa. That hurt me a little.
But unironically.
What are you smiling at, Hornhead?
If you don't take him, I will.
What?
Take who?
Take him.
Making fun of a person on an awkward situation does not mean you have feelings for that person. What even was that assumption? They finally make it to their destination, and the plan was to walk through the front gates, with an elf and a Kunari.
We're following the pilgrimage of divine Ananias with our servants in hopes she might be healed.
Any elf must post a flag-gold bond, in case they break the peace.
Light of the Maker shine upon you.
A month's wages to get through the gates?
The city where the Pope spends his summers can be entered with nothing but a lie and a month's wage. Okay.
They might as well just rob us outright.
I'm surprised they didn't just kill you after taking a breather.
I know, it's just... Every breath I take here is one too many.
They get to work through a narrated montage. The plan is to find a secret passage and use magic to lock most of the palace's staff on the cathedral during church hours, which is going to require research and supplies, so everybody gets assignments. Dingadong gets supplies using a cringy lie.
2 words. The Blight.
Master Bailey survived the last one, and his bad niece is another one's on the way. Oh yeah, and if you think I'd let a bunch of mindless, murderous monsters touch a hair on that sweet bald head of his, you got nothing coming, mister.
But halfway through the scene, they act like she got it by using her looks.
Or exotic defense items in the back.
Show me.
Don't you think a Kunari buying a small arsenal of magic weapons might attract some attention?
Oh, it's not about attracting attention. Not what kind.
Dark Elf goes around looking for ways into the palace. Lackluster and Gator go spar for a bit to increase their bro energy, because they will be the muscle,
Yes, we're the muscle.
and the latter correctly assume the former is into it.
You're trying to distract me? It won't work. Besides, your girlfriend's still gotta find a way into the palace. I don't have a girlfriend.
And then they all walk into a bar. Sadly, they forgot that
Nari are hated.
and don't take any measures to stay under the radar, to the point where Dark Elf just sits near the entrance of the bar, with the maps open for everyone to see. And she's still surprised when that attracts the attention of fruity racists.
You're in my seat, Elf. There a reason for that?
You fucking idiot.
Keep walking. They can't look at the plans.
Of course a bar fight ensues.
Don't tell me you care about some bat-faced bitches on.
In spite of Dark Elf's pleads.
Let's go! Come on!
And they win. Knock out the racists and leave a pile of money for the barkeep's silence. Later on the hideout, they laugh and revel at nothing because there is no joke.
You know my wife's right. I just can't stay out of trouble.
Except for Dark Elf, because they jeopardize the mission for her sake and she doesn't know how to deal with it.
You think you're all heroes punching a couple of drunk Devinters? You think that did anything except risk our mission? Neither did I.
Except, they did not. She jeopardized the mission. Had they ran or had they fought, the mission is over. The racists are going to wake up and tell it all to whoever wants to listen.
What happened here?
That's on her. As a thank you for the friendship they developed through montages, she comes up with a way in, which is through an escape tunnel for the Pope. But someone needs to open the entrance from the inside, and that's where she comes in.
I really want that cheese farm. If you don't come back, I'll kill you myself.
Made up friendships and cheese led her to face her fears. Beautiful. Next day they're getting ready. Dingadon gives a bag of grenades to Lackluster, keep that in mind, and Dark Elf removes the makeup around her slave mark. Very impactful. Afterwards, she climbs a wall around the palace, uses his slave mark to get through a guard that sees her, and kills the guys around the escape entrance, allowing the crew's passage. Lucky you have the power to climb unclimbable walls, the mark still holds any weight, and blood comes off like water in this universe.